Hello and welcome to episode 62 of the WMMA 5 series here on the channel using Pride FC as we're closing out the year 2006 as we have Pride 33's The Penn, Smarter Than the Sword. For this card, obviously the real card was Pride 33's The Second Coming, which that was like the return for Pride FC being in America. That was in Las Vegas, and that main event was, the main event for that was Vanderlei Silva, Dan Anderson, which was awesome seeing Dan Anderson knock him the fuck out. But, just that's kind of the changing of this. Plus, also, too, Pride 34, the last ever Pride event, was called Kamikaze. This is going to be, I think Pride 34, for this alt timeline, it's actually going to be called St. Valentine's Day Massacre, because we're going to have it be on Valentine's Day, according to the WMMA 5 schedule. Then we're going to have Kamikaze as Pride 35. So just kind of a little thing here, just wanted to address that before we go through the mail and whatnot. So just kind of, now that we're going into the alt timeline of Pride FC, now we're getting it almost into the time, we'll be right around, July, basically after April of 2007. Now we'll start being into the new ground, this whole new era of Pride FC where, we're into the truly an alt timeline where we're doing, trying to think creative new ways to bring something new to Pride FC. So it should be a lot of fun as I'm going to fix. Let's see if I can fix it. There we go. I just realized that there's a little bit of white. I'm trying to make it perfect. There we go. Now we'll go through the mail. As we got 20 pieces here. So, the fucking animal himself, Ice Cold Igor. Incredible fight. Cracked his ribs. Still won against Peter Hartz. Oh, and what an incredible fight that was. And Alexander Tsuga, he actually did break his ribs. He got his fucking ass beat out there. Poor guy. I mean, he got fucking destroyed. But a warrior, though, still was in there, still trying to hang on. But dear God, it was bad. As we extended Joe Rogan, extended Gray Maynard, we signed Bigfoot Silva. Daniel Silva. He is 2-1. He actually had a couple of fights, I believe, in CW and then Strikeforce, which he just lost to Hector Austin by rear naked choke in the second round. But, I mean, Bigfoot Silva. His big deal as far as what he could do as far as in the heavyweight division, kind of the mid and late 2000s. It was weird, because I felt like, really, the heavyweight division there kind of lacked for a hot minute, because the guys are old, or the guys of the old heavyweight division were kind of slowing down as far as age and whatnot, so it was kind of like a weird time. We had guys like Tim Silva, you had Bigfoot Silva, and then all came Brock Lesnar, really changed the whole game. Frank Mir, coming up. Big Nog, once he transitioned from Pride FC to UFC, was definitely not the same Big Nog that we had saw, obviously, in the years past. So it was just a different time for the heavyweight division. But it's still, we have, the heavyweight division we have now, I think, is crazy, though. We still got Big Nog. Fedor is not the same Fedor that, obviously, in real life. And Sergey Khretnerov's just a savage. He's turning into maybe what Fedor became. So, he's there at 6-1. Kazuki Fujita, talking about the heavyweight guys. Survived Mirko Krokop. He left Takata Dojo. We extended Fedor. Rashad Evans left Henzo Gracie. Jiu-Jitsu extended Vitor Belfort. So, Evan Tanner, we just let him, leave rings, and we didn't try to sign him. He is 28-15. He lost 3 straight. Lost to Chung Lee and Chael Sonnen. As he beat Joel De Oliveira twice. And, yeah, it's just, it's a damn shame to see how poorly he kind of did in this, but it's the way she goes. So he's probably going to end up retiring, or at least be on local shows for in Japan, maybe even America. But it's not going to go well for him. As Kazuki Fujita ended up joining Abiani Combat Club. Carter Ronix did his Pride FC deal, and we signed up Chael Sonnen from Rings. He's 11-7. He's on a 2-fight win streak, beating Joel De Oliveira and Evan Tanner, but they did lose to Benji Radish and Masanori Suda, which Masanori Suda, that's a huge get for him, beating Chael Sonnen. But I wanted to bring him along once we signed him from UFC, which he actually lost 2 straight coming off of UFC, so I think it kind of hurt him a little bit. His confidence wasn't that great. He beat Young Choi. He just kept on winning and losing. Just the consistency was not there. But he's won 2 straight now after losing 2 straight. I feel like he's going to have some a good effort there. It's kind of green. I still can't believe they did the Anderson Silva fight in December of 2000. I would have loved to have seen that waited a little bit longer, but that's neither here nor there. It should be interesting to see who he fights, though. It'll be a middleweight guy, and that middleweight division's getting bigger and bigger. As Thiago Silva, another guy that's And well, I believe he's going to be in the middleweight division. He's technically a light heavyweight, so I guess you could go either way with it. But I'm pretty sure we're going to have him be a middleweight, 4-1. Another, Brazilian fucking middleweight to kill throughout. So he did re-signing Frank Trigg, but I sent him down the rings. Just because, I mean, granted, he's lost 5 straight. He's a guy that at least rings could use to help elevate somebody. We got a lot of young middleweights down there, so I feel like if he does take on middleweights, which I think he will, really not sure where, because rings doesn't have a welterweight division, so that's why I was kind of nervous about sending guys down that are welterweights. I'm like, what are they going to do? Are they going to just kind of wait around? Like, I don't, really kind of nervous, but Frank Trigg, it's really no big deal, so I'm just going to send him down there and just see what happens, as Alexander Dzuga left Barista, Bigfoot Silva left Damian Maya Jiu-Jitsu, and Thiago Silva left Budokan Luta Libre. Then we signed Anthony Johnson to an actual Pride contract. It sucked they lost to Nate Corey in his first fight, but they knocked out Daniel Grayson with probably a head kick in 49 seconds. So I think, he'll be ready to fight here in the middleweight division, or rather the welterweight division is where his weight class is. It's interesting. Obviously, Anthony Johnson kind of beefed up everywhere. I forgot there towards the beginning of his career, he kind of didn't understand kind of where he should be in his weight class. And that happens to a lot of guys. You start out kind of at the smallest you can, you work your way up. He's more of a middleweight guy. We might actually beef him up, because I just feel like that'd be better for him. But the welterweight division I think could help him out too, because there's not a whole lot of guys, especially with that type of power. He'd probably be a fucking problem. Rico Rodriguez did get injured. He got a stinger during his training, but he should be okay though. And so now, let's get into the card here. Pride 33, the pin. It's mightier than the sword. And so we'll just go through the analysis. It's BJ Penn looking to make his second defense of this Pride lightweight title, as Gilbert El Nino Melendez taking on the prodigy BJ Penn, and of course if it's successful would set the new record for the belt. Of course they fought once before back to crown the lightweight champion at Pride FC's Final Conflict, which BJ Penn won by split decision. Of course, again, main eventing for the second time. Both fighters are world-ranked welterweights, Jesus, as BJ Penn is 3rd, Melendez is 15th. Both have won 4 of the last 5 fights by decision, and the Blurcast staff picks have it 7-0 for BJ Penn. As then Ron Faircloth taking on Merlio Ninja Hua, as Faircloth has submitted 3 of his last 5 opponents. Both fighters are world-ranked light heavyweights, as Faircloth is 11th, Merlio is 13th. Hua trains at Who's Valley Tudo, which Faircloth has a record of 0-1 against other members of that team. So, Hua has won 3 of his last 5 fights by decision. First time they have fought. Significant weight advantage for Ron Faircloth, and 5-2 on the Blurcat stat picks, with Ron Faircloth having the, I guess majority advantage. I wouldn't say slight, but majority advantage. Ron Faircloth, a guy who has been a bit of a problem there in Pride FC. He won 4 straight after losing his debut fight against Quentin Rampage Jackson. He took on the middleweight champion, which got the head kicked, and sometimes he just gets caught. You see with the Quentin Rampage Jackson, it was really like the second punch of the fight knocked him out, and you had the head kick that knocked him out in 32 seconds. But if he can go the distance, he's definitely a problem. I mean, tapped out Frank Shamrock with a rear naked choke. He's beaten Rich Franklin with a leg lock. He's a guy that's a problem. But if Merlio can knock him out early, obviously that will be a huge advantage for him. But that's a dangerous fighter, is Ron Faircloth. Still on a standard contract, which is kind of crazy, him being 17-5. We should probably try and give him an exclusive. Yeah, I feel like that's probably for the best. It's a lot of money, but it's definitely worth it. I thought it worked. Jesus. There we go. As Moonwolf, Ramina Saito taking on Wanda the Crusher Moraga, as Rumina Sato taking on Wanda Moraga here, both world-ranked welterweights, as Sato is 8th, Moraga 17th, as Moraga trains at Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Academy. Sato has an overall record of 0-1 against other members of that team. Sato trains at Takata Dojo. Moraga has an overall record of 0-1 against other members of that team, as Sato has won 3 of his last 5 fights by decision. So, funny enough, I've just watched his fight against Gilbert Melendez that happened in Shudo, so that's just kind of crazy. Probably 2 hours before this recording happened, I was just nuts to... I saw his fight, and I saw Gilbert Melendez against Tetsuya Kawajiri. Then I saw Gilbert Melendez against Nobuhiro Obia, which I thought it was Obia for the longest time. Now I'm watching that, and I was like, oh, it's pronounced Obia, so I'm glad I got to figure that out. But it's just kind of funny that I saw all three of those guys fight, or I guess all three but Tatsuya Kawajiri, and they're all on the same card. As Sato has a split, very, very split advantage there, 4-3. As this is going to be a hell of a fight, though, especially in the lightweight division where, you know, poor Wanda Moraga came in, loses to BJ Penn. That's a tough fight to take on, especially losing to Joe Hurley before you come over here from the UFC. But, I mean, he could be someone that could definitely be a problem in this lightweight division. But then you got fucking Rumina Sato at 21-8-1. He has the win against Joaquim Hansen, which both guys have that going for them. They both have beaten Joaquim Hansen, and he's beaten Takanori Gomi twice. That was early on the mod in February and then July of 2000. That should be. I mean, that's a crazy fight to be heavily, especially going kind of this spot on the card. And then Jake Shields against John Fitch. Two great welterweights going at it here. John Fitch training at Minnesota Martial Arts Academy. Jake Shields has an overall record of 0-1 against other members of that team. Shields is ranked 11th, and then Fitch is ranked 19th. First time they have fought. Jake Shields having the slight advantage, 4-3. So, I mean, Jake Shields is a fucking problem. That is for sure. We'll see how that goes, though. I mean, I know Jake Shields, you know, in kind of in the real, obviously real life, you know, goes on a bit of a winning streak, and he goes on a bit of a tear, kind of the lower leagues of, you know, WEC, and I want to say Strikeforce, too. Then he takes on GSP, and that's kind of the end of him. But for John Fitch, though, he has been a problem in this. The record, though, I mean, it's 3-3. But if he could get out of the gate and really have you know, like, he's beaten some big names. He's beaten Diego Sanchez. He's beaten Nick Serra. That was a poor fight, but, I mean, he still beat him. But he's lost to Carlos Newton, Tetsuji Kato, and Luis Santos, which two of those guys are welterweight champions, so that's nothing to be ashamed of. But it should be interesting to see how that fight comes about there. Thiago Tavares taking on Gleison Tbow, as Gleison Tbow is a guy who went on the tear and went on a bit of a run there in the lightweight division. Now he's taking on Thiago Tavares, who won at one of the Brazilian Bushido cards. Both of them, 3 and 4. So he's got, you know, he beat Leonardo Santos too, which that's a huge ass win. If he can keep this momentum going by beating Gleison Tbow, that would be huge. But they're both, you know, ranked in the lightweight division of Pride, 20 and 25th. Tavares has submitted 3 of his last 5 opponents. First time they have fought. But Gleison's going to be a big favorite there. That makes, you know, sense to me. I mean, Gleison Tbow is a fucking problem. He's 2-2 though in Pride FC. He just lost 2 straight. Granted to BJ Penn and Takanori Gomi, but he's beaten Shinya Oki. He's beaten Sean Shirk, Ryan Healy, Mac Danzig. That was at CW. Pat Healy as well. That's another. He lost to crazy Charles Bennett though, king of the KOTC. That's some big stuff there. 14 and 4. Should be interesting to see how that goes. So the Gracie Hunter, Kazushi Sakuraba taking on Forrest Griffin. What a dream fight for me. I love both these guys. Obviously, Kazushi Sakuraba is going. He's getting to his, you know, he's 38. He's lost. He just beat Renzo Gracie, but that's nothing to really brag about. His really last big kind of win was probably against Pat Miletich, which Pat Miletich was taking on a middleweight when he's more of a welterweight guy, so that just kind of also happened too. But I mean, should be interesting to see how it goes. Though you got Forrest Griffin, who there for a while I thought he was going to go on a bit of a tear. You know, he's still 9-1. Like, it's not like he just lost to Renzo Gracie, which I guess, I mean, that's I just said that, you know, it's beating Renzo Gracie is no big deal, but, I mean, Forrest Griffin can't say that. He lost to him by a rear naked choke at Pride 25's body blow. That was back in 2003. Obviously a younger Forrest Griffin, but now he's beaten some names. He's beaten Masato Yano, Yuki Kondo, Gerard Musashi, Royce Gracie. It's just kind of funny in itself. He beat Royce Gracie, but I mean, this is a huge fight for Forrest Griffin. He gets a big win here, kind of keep it going, which I think he's going to. Unless, you know, Kazushi Sakuraba has anything to say about it, but he's got the civic weight advantage. It's going to be tough for Sakuraba there. The Brazilian Tiger, Ricardo Ron, taking on the Dreamcatcher, Gerard Musashi. Musashi hasn't won since August of 2004, so 2 years of a losing streak. He's a big favorite here. Ricardo Rona, there for a hot minute, I thought he was going to be a problem. And, I mean, he won, 5 straight, which, again, Kira Shoji, Yoji Anjo, Dario Matsui, and then Ois Grace, which all 4 of those guys had a losing record. Fabio Maldonado, though, at least has an okay record. But just seeing his fight ratings, he's had 3 very poors, 1 poor, an abysmal, actually 2 poors and an abysmal. He's only had 1 good fight, and that was at Pride 11, Battle of the Rising Sun. Definitely someone that could be on the chopping block. If he had not beaten Minoru Suzuki, obviously would have been sent down to rings, but he hasn't really beaten any big, he beat fucking Shogun. He beat Mauricio Uas, so that's huge. It's not looking good for Ricardo Rona here against Draw Musashi, which Musashi, again, hasn't won in 2 years, but he's lost to a lot of big-time names. Amar Soleoff, Tim Kennedy, and Forrest Griffin. I mean, those 3 guys have very, very good records. It should be interesting, though. I think this is a nice bounce-back fight for Draw Musashi. Still 22, still very young in his career. We'll see what happens, though, in that fight. Hector Lombard against Nobuhiro Obia. I always like to say Obia, but that is definitely not how you pronounce that, as I figured that I found that out. Alright, because I was just trying to remember. I couldn't remember a lot of his fights. I remember he fought Gilbert Melendez, but I hadn't seen that fight in a long time. So I just wanted to check that out, just to be like, oh, I remember he fought Gilbert Melendez. Let's see how they pronounce it there, because I had a feeling. No one said it in the comment section, so I was like, maybe, I'm sure if I was pronouncing it wrong, someone would have said something by now. But, just was like, maybe. It's a tough word to pronounce anyways, but I want to say it's, according to, I want to say Jay Glazer of everyone, it was, bringing in the show from, FS1, because back in the day, that's where they used to be, they would air some fights on FS1, and they would sometimes air it on Spike TV mostly, but, just, kind of like a rerun situation. But, yeah, Nobuhiro Obia taking on Hector Lombard. Hector Lombard finally getting a fight. This man has been signed since 2004, 2 years he's been waiting for a fight. I want to say he got hurt, right before, he had cracked his pelvis before a fight back in July. So he had just had to wait a long time for him to get a fight here. But now he's got one. He was going to take on Michael Bisping, and then Bisping got hurt, so now we got Nobuhiro coming in there to fight Hector Lombard, as Nobuhiro's got a significant weight advantage, but Hector Lombard's making his pro debut, and he's got the Blur Cat stat picks, 5-2. I mean, Hector Lombard's a fucking machine. I mean, that's a man that was, you got, Sydney, Australia, which is always interesting, Cuban from Sydney, Australia, but just those Cuban wrestlers, man, they're fucking problems. He's a high-level judokan, so that's even, you have that element as well. A wrestler plus a high-level judokan. He's a fucking problem, though. That's a guy, I mean, it's a dangerous man. And that's something that's going to be looking forward towards in the future, to see what Hector Lombard can do after this fight. Because he's got the skill set to be a problem. As he's got the betting lines, minus 260, plus 200 for Nobuhiro, Shuto style, judo style, obviously Hector Lombard. Is 4-3, Nobuhiro, 0-0, obviously Hector Lombard making his fucking MMA debut. 5'7", 5'9", so at least they're kind of, shorter guys too. I think this is a great matchup for both Hector Lombard and Nobuhiro Obia, but we shall see how this fight goes, as referee Yuji Shimada, ringside judges, weighed in the same yesterday, but it's clear that Nobuhiro has clearly gained is going to have the significant weight advantage now, and he's fighting in front of the whole crowd. Gets a loud ovation from the crowd as he makes his entrance. Here we go. Hector ignoring the offer of touch gloves. I'm sure that is not happy for the fans, as Nobuhiro appeared to be going for a takedown, but Lombard took the initiative first, and he throws a quick punch, doesn't hit though. Now he's looking for the takedown. He almost got with it, but not quite. He's left hopping while Hector Lombard has a hold of one leg. Now he can't get him down, though, so he pushes him up against the ropes. He does so, now he's smothering him. They remain there for the next minute or so, just a grueling up-close battle of short strikes, as he's showing his ability to just grind down his opponents, and he's keeping Nobuhiro pressed up against the ropes tightly. Some more short punches to the body and the side of the head for another 60 seconds, or 30 seconds, rather. As Lombard, again, exerting total control, keeping Nobuhiro smothered against the ropes. I mean, we're going to break this up. Yuji Shimada, there we go. Finally, they bring him back to the center. There's a punch, but Nobuhiro's equal to it, then moves in close, ready to attack, as Lombard looked like he was angling for a grab, but couldn't take the initiative. There's a two quick punches, doesn't hit either of them, as Lombard throws a punch, but Nobuhiro avoids it, as Lombard steps in, works his way into a down position, and clinches, trying to wrestle Nobuhiro backwards up against the ropes. He achieves it, pins him to the ropes, and now he's backed up against the ropes. He can't really do much than, thanks to the total control that Hector Lombard's exerting here, as some more close quarter punches thrown for the next 60 seconds, as Lombard tries to maintain control, but Nobuhiro Obia wrestles his way out of trouble and turns it to now Lombard's has his back up against the ropes. Looking for a trip takedown. He's got it. Outside leg trip. Sweeps Lombard down the ground. He's left on his back under tag control. And he's unable to inflict much damage on Lombard now. He's trying to move in the guard, but doesn't allow it. There's a couple of punches designed to keep him guessing there and try to keep his, trying to catch his breath, as well as blocks a temptable guard. Throws a few strikes that are venom. Tries to move the guard, but Nobuhiro keeps him at bay, as Nobuhiro keeps Lombard guessing with a few quick strikes. He tries to pull guard on Nobuhiro, but doesn't get anywhere with the attempt, as there's some more small strikes from Obia, but it's clearly just taking a moment to catch his breath. Standing back up, as 46 seconds left in this first round. Hector Lombard's breathing a little heavier, comes forward with the attack. There's a jab and exchanges a 1-2 from Obia, but Lombard avoids both of them. Now he steps in, looking to work his way into down position clinch, but that's the end of the first round. Yeah, I mean, that takedown definitely helped Nobuhiro Obia, but it's close. I mean, obviously, you're smack right dab with, you have 48 to 44 on strikes. That is very, very close. Takedown is really the advantage. I think it's a slight edge, but Nobuhiro Obia won that first round. We'll see what happens in the second, though. So, the final round, Lombard fails to land a jab. It hits Obia with a crunching right hook. They engage, as Lombard misses the big right hand, putting him off bounds, allowing Obia to attack with a right cross. A little fatigue may be creeping in, as Lombard is now starting to move noticeably more slower. As Obia comes forward on the attack, there's two counter left hands from Lombard. There's a 1-2, but Lombard is equal to it. They're coming in for the strike, as Obia may have been setting up to shoot, but Hector Lombard was more aggressive. There's a punch. Doesn't land, though. He's just blown up at this point. There's a punch from Lombard that fails to land. So Obia gets a hold of Lombard, not having taken even one shot while coming in. So Lombard wrestles him, though. Now he's got control. Looking for a judo throw. He's got it. Outside leg trip sweeps Obia down the ground, where he's left on his back pulling guard. If he can keep this control for the next 3 minutes, I think he can win the round. Obviously, I think he's won the round, but I think he can actually win the fight, too. As it's been all Hector Lombard. Doesn't allow Obia to lock him up with double underhooks. There's a few punches. They aren't throwing any great force, though. And he's trying to sweep him, but he can't do it. Pounds away, isn't trouble by the strike, so he's trying to sweep from the bottom, can't do it. Trying to pound on Obia, but again, none of the blows land with any degree of power. Trying to sweep him. 60 seconds left in guard. Lombard is content just to throw a couple punches to the body, as Ryuji Shimada stands to back up. Obia comes forward, looking to exchange, a strike exchange there. There's a counter jab from Lombard. He uses the left jab, but Lombard evades the big punch, as now he's just very, very tired, clinches, and he's trying to push him against the ropes, as, oh no, this Lombard now ends up back against the ropes. That's the end of the fight, though. It's close. It's very, very close, but I think Hector Lombard won it thanks to that second round. We'll see, though. Yeah. Unanimous decision for Hector Lombard in his debut, 1-0, starting off on the positive note, as Nobuhiro Obia is now 4-4. Hell of a fight, though. I mean, I agree it was poor, but I think that's a hell of an effort for Hector Lombard to come back and get the win there. As Hector Lombard name checks all of his sponsors and thanks all of his fans for Darren Spawner. He has asked who he'd like to fight next. He answers that he thinks the fight against Mark Hughes would probably be a great contest. Let's pump the brakes a little bit, Hector Lombard. You just made your debut. Let's not be taking on Mark Hughes. So the Brazilian Tiger, Ricardo Arona, taking on the Dreamcatcher, Gerald Musasi, 7-3, 8-5, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, Leiden, Netherlands. I want to say that's how it's pronounced. I'm just going to say the Netherlands, just to be fair, as Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Kickboxing, Judo, No Team, Abiani Combat Club. The Abiani Combat Club's really coming together as far as a MMA team is concerned. I mean, they've got a lot of guys. At least as far as them being on the Pride FC roster, there's a lot of guys in the Abiani Combat Club. Is minus 540 for Gerald Musasi, plus 430 for Ricardo Arona. It's going to be a tough fight for Ricardo Arona here. As our referee, Big John McCarthy, our ringside judges, here we go, they touch gloves. As Arona looked like he was angling to get a takedown attempt, but he couldn't take the initiative, as there's two jabs and then a crunching leg kick, as Musasi now trying to shoot in, as Ricardo Arona is sprawling, blocks it, manages to push him down on his hands and knees, looking for a soccer kick, but Musashi's up too quick as they can't hit the setup left jab, and then hits Arona with a straight right, and there's a cut underneath the eye. Looked over to see another shot from Arona, but Musashi was more aggressive, took the initiative. There's some strikes and a fast leg kick, but Arona was equal to all of them. There's a jab and a right hook. There's 2 left jabs and a massive right head kick, and there's a knockdown. Arona is knocked down by that shot as he's quickly pouncing. We're looking to bring down bunches on the stun Ricardo Arona, and there's several big shots that are landing. And now looking for a Kimura. Doesn't allow the Kimura. Trying to transition to guard, but can't manage it. Looking for an armbar now, and Ricardo Arona stops that. So Arona trying to pull guard on Musashi, but doesn't get anywhere with the attempt. There's a few right hands to the body. Looking to catch his breath, but Musashi is content, just throw a couple punches to the body. So Arona tries to pull guard on Musashi, but doesn't get anywhere with the attempt. So Musashi keeping Arona guessing with a few quick strikes, blocks Arona as he tries to transition to guard. Inside control, Musashi throws a couple of punches designed to keep Arona guessing. He struggles and gets half guard. Throws a few strikes, but it's clearly just slowing things down so he can catch his breath. There's a few right hands to the body, trying to pass the half guard. He can't get free of the half guard. He tries to get to full guard on Musashi, but doesn't get able to attempt. Musashi's starting to try and work to get out of half guard into better positioning, as he almost gets side control, but Arona was ready for it, and the scramble begins. As Arona takes his back, and that was lightning quick, too. As he got both hooks in, can he get the fucking rear naked choke? Oh my, as no, he doesn't allow the arm to go under the chin, though. Does Musashi trying to break free the hooks? They're too tight. They're looking for it again. Again, Musashi. He's just going to hang on at this point as he's pounding away, but calmly deals with the man. Ricardo Arona about stole it right there, that rear naked choke. But Gerard Musashi blocking it as, man. I mean, it was pretty much all Gerard Musashi until he took that back there towards the end of the fight. But, I mean, yeah, he's got the knockdown already. It's just gonna have to. Ricardo Arona's gonna have to tap him out. I don't think he's gonna knock him out or anything. He's probably gonna have to win via submission. As the cut man tries to stop the bleeding for Ricardo Arona in between rounds. Last round, here we go. Seeing his opponent about to shoot in for the takedown, Musashi timed well, start moving it in for the clinch. As he gets caught with a knee strike to the body, does Ricardo Arona now using his wrestling to try to push Ricardo Arona up against the website. Now he's got him stuck there. There's a hard foot stomp, looking for a judo throw, blocks it. As looking for it again, this time he gets it. It's outside leg trip, sweeps Arona down to the ground, so he's left on his back, pulling half guard. A few punches, each easily being blocked with gloves, trying to get full guard on Musashi, doesn't get him with the attempt. As now halfway point, he keeps Arona guessing with a few quick strikes. Arona tries to move from half guard to full guard, but Musashi doesn't allow it. Fires off a few punches, tries to catch his breath. Trying to get out of half guard into better position, and as Arona allows the pass, it's just a ploy to allow him to try and scramble. He ends up in guard. Minute left, smothering Musashi, so his body's pressing, pushing forward and down as the clock runs down as Musashi's being smothered against the ground, as that is the end of the fight, and your winner, Gerard Musashi, by unanimous decision. There's at least it was a decent fight. Ricardo Arona now 8-6, 8-3 rather, is Gerard Musashi. As Gerard Musashi thanks everyone connected to Abiani Combat Club for helping him prepare for the fight, and his sponsors for supporting him financially. Our main fight now, our opener. The Gracie Hunter, Kazushi Sakuraba taking on Forrest Griffin. 13-8-1-1 no contest, 9-1, 2 UFC Hall of Famers, funny enough, as obviously this was the only time they would have faced. It was in an all-time line where you signed Forrest Griffin to Pride FC in the early, towards the latter years, rather, of Pride FC, but the early years for Forrest Griffin. As, yeah, this is just going to be all Forrest Griffin. I don't see Kazushi Sakuraba getting his way out of this one. 38 years old, 27 years old, 6'3", 205, 6'2", 205, 9-1, 13-8-1-1 no contest. Catch wrestling, mixed martial artists, no team, roof sport. For Forrest Griffin, Yuji Shimada's are free ringside judges. They weighed in the same at 205, but now, obviously, whereas we're about to fight, it's obvious that Forrest Griffin is much bigger. Round one begins, they touch gloves, Sakuraba steps in looking to grapple, as there's with the underhooks, giving him solid control over Griffin, as Sakuraba looking for the takedown. Griffin stops it though, now he's got control of the grapple, trying to push up against the ropes, he does so. Looking to go down low, grab both legs, trying to take him down the mat, he does so. As now Sakuraba's in guard, he fires off some rights, but Sakuraba's in trouble by the strikes. Sakuraba is trying to throw some wild swings from the bottom, but Griffin leans back to avoid him. There's a handful of punches, each easily being blocked with gloves, rather. As he tries to catch Griffin with a punch that is off target, throws a few right hands, it takes a moment to plan ahead. Tries to pound on Sakuraba, none of the blows are anything degree of power. He leans back again to avoid a couple of wild swings. Fires away with punches, but Sakuraba doesn't take any undue damage. Sakuraba pushes Griffin away with the defending the strikes, but right out of the gate, as Sakuraba makes Griffin step back by throwing a vicious up kick. Tries to connect with the up kick again, but again, Griffin just steps back. And now he's got ground positioning, but Sakuraba moves quickly, scrambling for position before Griffin can get a hold of it. And now Sakuraba's just left turtled up, facing Griffin, looking for the Bulldog choke. Loses control in the attempt, and that allows Sakuraba to quickly scramble for positioning as that scramble gets him back to his feet. But Griffin immediately drives him back up against the ropes. Now looking for a Muay Thai clinch. He's got it. Halfway point, he's got the Muay Thai, and there's a big knee strike to the chest. He's trying to wrestle his way out of it. He does so. He blocks it and wrestles his way out of the clinch. Steps in and grabbles his opponent. And look at the muscle up against the ropes again. This force Griffin. He can't move Sakuraba, though. He finds himself being out-wrestled. Again, he's got solid underhooks. Looking for the takedown. Can't get it. And Griffin works his way in dominant position. There's a knee to the body of Sakuraba. Trying to push him up against the ropes again. He does so. Looking to go down low, grab both legs. He does so, and he's got side control of it too. There's a handful of punches, each easily being blocked with gloves. Tries to transition the guard, but can't manage it. Throws a few strikes clear, just slowing things down so he can catch his breath. Tries to pull guard on Griffin, but doesn't get anywhere with the attempt. Throws a few right hands to the body. Tries to move the guard. Griffin doesn't allow it. There's an arm bar. Doesn't allow it, though. As Griffin blocks Sakuraba, he's trying to transition the guard, but he can't do anything about it. And that's the end of the first round. Obviously, all Forrest Griffin, he's landed all the shots, he's done all the takedowns. Several red marks around his ribs show that Sakuraba was taking some heavy shots on the body in the night. As final round, Sakuraba appeared to be going to try and get in close, but Griffin took the initiative as he can't connect with the jab. There's a sick right head kick, and then he wobbles and falls down from the head kick. Moving quickly, Griffin comes in looking to finish him off with soccer kicks and fucking stomps. There's several big stomps and kicks, and somehow Sakuraba hangs on. Looking to get on top of Sakuraba, he drives in, but Sakuraba pushes him away and starts to scramble. As the scramble results in Sakuraba being on his back, though, pulling half guard, so it didn't even matter. There's a few right hands. Deflects a couple bunches thrown from the bottom. Pounds away with right hands, doesn't do much damage. Leans back to avoid a couple of wild swings from Sakuraba. Pounds away with rights, fails landing significant. Has to lean back again. I mean, Sakuraba will not give up. He is just fighting for all that he has. He knows he was the underdog and he's just trying anything. There's a few right hands. He takes him on the plan ahead. Again, a few right hands is clear, just slowing things down. He already has won the fight. He's just got to not get caught at this point. Along with some right hands, but Sakuraba deals with them comfortably. And there, Sakuraba, again, just throwing these wild swings. Has no progress being made. The referee stands him back up. A few gulps of breath as Sakuraba was given the first hint. They start to tire touch. So is Forrest Griffin with a minute left. Both fighters have the same idea. They come together in a clinch. Griffin looks like he's gotten the best of the clinch. Look at the muscle up against the ropes. He does so. Now he's got complete control. Look for the Muay Thai clinch. He ends up in the Muay Thai clinch. Tries to wrestle free, but he can't. And that's the end of the fight, though, before anything happens. So your winner, by unanimous decision, Forrest Griffin, going to be 10-1. As poor Sakuraba going to be 13-8, or 13-9 and 1-1 now. Tough. As giving thanks, Forrest Griffin praised his team at Roof Sport. His favorite sponsors, the fans came out to support him. He's asked who he'd like to fight next. His answers at the top of his wish list is still Lyoto Machida. Yeah, that'd be awesome. As Forrest Griffin gave a good account of himself there. Look at Lyoto Machida's. Thiago Tavares taking on Gleison Tbow. 6-0, 14-4, Coconut Creek, Florida. Floriano, Brazil. I'm going to say that's how you pronounce that. A 6 foot, 155, 5'9", 161. So the shorter but bigger Gleison Tbow, 21-23. Both Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys, Roof Sport. No team. Roof Sport already did well with Forrest Griffin. See if they have another advantage here for Roof Sport. Another Roof Sport guy getting a win. I doubt it, though. He's the underdog. Plus 420. Place for Thiago Tavares. Minus 530 for Gleison Tbow. I think it's time for Gleison Tbow to get a win. You know, he hasn't got any wins in a while. This is his time. You know, this is a big fight for both guys, though. I mean, this is a huge win for Thiago Tavares if he does beat Gleison Tbow. And this is a big win for Gleison to come back and get another, a win to get back onto the winning track of things. Digging Nagumu's our referee, ringside judges, opening bell. Gleison Tbow shoots in right out of the gate. He's got it, too. He's got side control out of it. Gleison Tbow fires away with punches, does little in the way of damage as Tbow blocks Tavares as he tries to transition the guard, looking for an armbar. As Tavares defends himself and is in no danger there as Tbow blocks Tavares, tries to transition the guard. There's a few right hands at the body. As Tavares tries to move the guard again, but Gleison Tbow is a pit bull out there. He's keeping him down on the mat. There's a few quick strikes, pounds away with rights, but fails landing significant. He's trying to pull the guard on Gleison Tbow, but doesn't get any with the attempt. Referee stands back up. Again, rinse and repeat from Gleison Tbow. So it's just not going to be Thiago Tavares' night. Gleison Tbow's a problem. As Gleison Tbow takes a few strikes, it's clear as slowing things down so he can catch his breath. If Gleison Tbow fires off punches, catches his breath. Again, fires off some punches, but they aren't throwing any great force. Tavares doesn't trouble on the rights. Tries to get full guard, but Gleison Tbow's now allowing anything halfway point. Now he's throwing body shots as Gleison Tbow. It's just throwing strikes. It's just trying to catch his breath. Few weak-looking punches decides the next move. He bursts into life, though. Thiago Tavares tries to scramble into better position, but Gleison Tbow seizes the opportunity as Tavares is too slow and gets caught in side control. Some more punches to the body. Trying to transition guard, but can't manage it. There's some more punches, each easily being blocked with gloves. Tries to pull guard on Gleison Tbow, but doesn't get any of the attempt. There's a few right hands, takes a moment to plan ahead. Trying to pull guard on Gleison Tbow, but doesn't get anywhere with the attempt. Tbow fires off some right hands, but Tavares is with trouble with the strikes. Tbow blocks Tavares. He tries to transition the guard. Tbow punches down at Tavares, but they are easily taking on gloves. Jesus, I was thinking they weren't, but that is, Jesus, I could not fucking read there. As Gleison Tbow blocks the attempt to pull guard, looking to catch his breath. Gleison Tbow is content just throw a couple punches to the body. Tavares tries to move the guard, but Tbow doesn't allow it. Referee stands back up with 15 seconds, gets in close, clinches Gleison Tbow does Tavares, but that's before we can get anything going. That's the end of the bell, and that has been all Gleison Tbow. Dominant. Has been dominant, as hopefully the fighters will do a little bit more in this next round. This has been a pretty boring affair. I don't think it really hasn't been a great fight so far, but we'll see. That's still early on this card. Final round, Tavares steps in and grapples with the opponent. As Tavares attempts to trip Gleison Tbow down on the ground, he stops the attempted trip and then uses his wrestling to take control of the grapple. Tbow is looking to muscle Tavares back against the ropes. Tavares ends up back against the ropes as Tbow traps Tavares up against the ropes and using double underhooks for the control. As remains up against the ropes for the next minute, doing little other than occasional short punches, as showing his ability to grind down opponents. Gleison Tbow is keeping Tavares pressed up tightly against the ropes. It's a grueling grappling contest continues for the next 60 seconds with both fighters looking to avoid leaving any openings. As having been stuck against the ropes for a while without any progress, the referee brings them back to the center. Takedown attempt. Cannot stop it. As the story of the fucking fight, Gleison Tbow getting the takedown. Throws a few right hands. Takes a moment to plan ahead. Yeah, this one's pretty much over. Pounds away, but Tavares calmly deals with them. Tries to transition the guard, but he can't manage it. Yeah, this was just too much for Thiago Tavares. I mean, that is minus 420. That is a tough, betting line. You could really tell it was the upset, but really tell he was the underdog, rather. But it was no contest. Gleison Tbow, dominant performance to get back into his winning ways. Yeah, I mean, we've had a poor fight, a very poor fight, an average fight, and a decent fight. Not a good night so far as Pride 33's. The pen is mightier than the sword. As Gleison Tbow thanks all of his sponsors for backing him. Also thanks his family, friends, supporters. He says he has a lot of respect for Thiago Tavares. Praises his toughness. It's Jake Shields taking on John Fitch, 16-4, 10-3, San Francisco, California, Fort Wayne, Indiana, 6 foot, 183, 5'11", 183, 27 years old, 28 years old. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Wrestling, Minnesota Martial Arts Academy. No team for Jake Shields. Minus 240 for John Fitch. Plus 190 for Jake Shields. Yeah, this should be a hell of a welterweight contest. Much like, with these two guys, really they are keeping the pressure. Whoever gets that first takedown is really going to probably be the guy who ends up winning this fight. As we'll see what happens here. As Big John McCarthy's a referee, our ringside judges. Weight in the same, but Jake Shields clears a significant weight advantage now. Round 1 begins. Moving in fast, Shields wrestles away in the dominant position and clinch. Tries to wrestle Fitch backwards up against the ropes. He can't do it, though. Fitch now has a more dominant position in the grapple. Looking to scoop him up for a slam, and he slams his ass to the ground as Jake Shields manages to pull a guard upon impact. Yep, now he's being smothered. Controlled against the ground, unable to shift Fitch off of him. Just keeps him down. Just lay and fucking pray. There's a few relatively weak-looking right hands from John Fitch. As Shields is controlled against the ground. Big John McCarthy stands back up. They wrestle again. Fitch again is the aggressor again, looking for the takedown. Doesn't get it, though. Jake Shields blocks it. As now he's looking to Pick him up on the shoulder, looking for the slam again, and he slams him for the second time, lift him up, and plants him down. Halfway point in the first round, and it is all John Fitch. As, yep, lying on top of him, fire away with punches, keeps him down, as he's just... Oh, as Fitch actually gets pushed back out of the guard and is left standing above Shields, as he's just watches him back into that dominant. Yep. He's too quick, though. He slips away from Fitch and starts to scramble. The scramble results in Fitch being on his back. So that our boy Jake Shield, way to come back and at least do something with 243 now left into the first round. Deflects a couple punches designed that were thrown from the bottom. As now he's the one who's keeping with the lay and pray. There's a few punches as he's trying to control him against the round. Is unable to shift Jake Shields off of him as John Fitch keeps him stuck there, again, stuck on them, and that is the end of the first round. So both guys have the same idea, lay and pray. John Fitch, though, has the takedowns, so he has that advantage, but it's going to come down to the second round, I think, to determine who's going to win this one. Final round, Jake Shields aggressively moves in and looking for the grapple, looking to muscle him against the ropes. He tried that same idea right out of the gate the first round, and it didn't work, and it doesn't work here as Fitch outruns him. Now trying to push him against the ropes, he does so. As pressed up against the ropes, he simply cannot break control as Fitch has over him. Remaining there for the next minute or so, hitting each other short punches to the body and side of the head. Looking to go down low, grabs the opponent's legs. He does, he gets the takedown. I believe that has won the fight for John Fitch. It throws a few right hands, some more right hands, attempts to get some separation, but he can't. Fires away with punches, does a low on the way down, trying to transition the guard, but can't manage it. Fires off a handful of punches, each easily being blocked with gloves. Minute left. In half guard, Fitch catches his breath, content just throw a couple punches to the body. Jake Shields tries to transition the guard, but he can't manage it. There's a lack of progress being made. From the ref stands back up, which would a waste because that's the end of the fight nonetheless. Your winner, John Fitch, by unanimous decision. Yep, and another very poor fight. It's kind of funny, especially compared to that last card we had. It was going to be tough to really top anything that this card was going to do, but man, it's going to be a shit show. It's another very poor fight. John Fitch gives a name check to everyone at Minnesota Martial Arts Academy, all the various sponsors, and all of his friends, family, and supporters. John Fitch giving the show respect to his opponent. As now the Moonwolf, Romana Sato. I can never pronounce that right, as I always feel like I'm fucking it up. As Sato taking on Wander, the Crusher Moraga. As 21-8-1, 20-6, 32 years old are both men, 5'6", 5'8", both 161. Tokyo, Japan, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Submission wrestling, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Takada Dojo, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. Both guys, -130, -140. This is going to be a hell of a fight. Big John McCarthy's the referee. At ringside judges, some good gets a good reaction to Sato from the crowd here. As he's in front of a home crowd tonight. Here we go. Sato steps in, grappling his opponent, looking for the trip takedown. It's unsuccessful. Moraga maintained the good solid base. Now Sato again looking for the trip takedown. Again, Moraga blocks it. Now he's got control of the grapple. Looking to scoop him up for a slam, and he slams his ass to the ground. Sato manages to pull guard upon impact as Moraga tries to pound on Sato, but none of the blows land with any degree of power. Tries to pull Moraga in close, peppering him with short strikes, but he can't. Moraga begins trying to pass guard and get better position. He passes guard, but he can't secure side control. Sato starts the scramble. Neither fighter manages to pose himself in the scramble and really have it, so they just end up both standing. Seeing his opponent about to shoot in, Sato timed it well, moved in for the clinch, looking for the trip takedown. It's ugly, but he ultimately gets the takedown. He ends up on top of a turtle, Moraga holding him in a loose face lock type hold. As Moraga gets up sharply, sensing that Sato is preparing to throw a vicious knee strike to the head. Sato gets in close with the grapple, looking to wrestle him down on the ground. He's got it, as that's a takedown successful for Sato there. Moraga pulls guard, throws a few strikes, clearly just slows things down so he can catch his breath. He's trying for an armbar. Sato blocks it, punches down on Moraga there, easily taking on the gloves, looking for an armbar from the bottom again. Again, Sato defends it. Sato keeps him, gets him with a few quick strikes, just throwing some more strikes, just trying to catch it so he can think. He's just throwing things down now. Takes a moment playing ahead. Deflects a couple of punches designed that were Moraga threw from the bottom, as Sato throws a few weak-looking punches aside his next move. No progress being made. Standing back up, Moraga again looking for the takedown. Can't get past the sprawl of Sato. Gets pushed down on his hands and knees. There's a short knee strike to the head. Now looking for the Darce choke. Hold is almost locked in, but Moraga escapes at the last second and attempts to scramble. As he leaves his leg in the scramble, so Sato grabs that, and unable to get the leg, Sato ends up on his back, pulling guard, and that was a tactical error there. Going for the leg was absolutely the wrong move in that situation, trying to pass the guard. Gets past guard, but Sato stops him in half guard as he's trying to get his leg free to get better positioning. Sato comfortably blocks him, and he keeps Braga in half guard. Braga feels Sato preparing to scramble, so they make sure that doesn't happen. Now, Braga attempts to pass half guard and gain better position. He can't get it. So both guys are really at they're tick for tat. You know, they are two on the same level. They're on the same wavelength. They really can't one-up each other. But that is the end of the first round. And, you know, Sato has the, 50%. Both guys 50%. He's got the extra takedown on him. He's landed more strikes. I'm assuming Sato's going to win this one. It's going to come down to the second round, though. I mean, if Juan Braga has a completely dominant second round, he can sway it and win it. Sato gets in close, clinches with Braga. Clinch with Moraga. Sato looking to try and take him down. Takedown is complete. Baraga's on his back, pulls half guard and half guard. Sato throws a couple of punches designed to keep him guessing. Braga tries to get full guard on Sato, but doesn't get anywhere with the attempt. Sato fires off some right hands, but Braga is in trouble with the strikes. Braga tries to transition to full guard, but can't manage it. Sato throws a few weak-looking punches as he decides on his next move. In half guard, Sato catches his breath. Condensers throw a couple punches to the body. Braga tries to transition to guard, can't manage it. Throws a few right hands to the body. Braga tries to get full guard on Sato, but doesn't get anywhere with the attempt. The referee stands back up with 1:30 left. Braga shoots in for the takedown, can't get past the sprawl of Sato, and gets pushed down on his hands and knees. Sensing a knee strike about to be thrown again, Braga scoots backwards, quickly springs back to his feet. Minute left, they clinch. Braga seems to have be the aggressor of the two. Looking for the trip, he's got it. As it's quick inside leg trip, he can do nothing but pull half guard. There's a few strikes, tries to get out of full guard, but Braga doesn't get anywhere with it. But that is your fight, and that is the end of the second round. Yep, I still think Sato won that one. We'll see if the judges really do. It's the Moon Wolf. Romania? Sato? I can never do it. Sato, I really need to look that up just to see how he pronounces it, because it was Shudo, so there's not a fucking English fucking announcer there, so I couldn't even figure it out from that. But man, it's not looking good for Juan Braga. Starting off 0-2 in Pride FC. Granted, it was against BJ Penn and now Sato, but Sato, though, on the other hand, starting off well, 2-0. Beat Joaquim Manson, now he beat Juan Braga. Maybe he'll fight BJ Penn. I think that's what we're going to have him do after, I think Takanori Gomez is going to face him, and then we'll do Sato. I don't know, maybe we'll do Sato first. Giving thanks, Sato praises his team at Takata Dojo as fair response and all the fans who came out to support him. Showing respect, Sato praises Braga for the skill and toughness. So our co-main event, Ron Faircloth taking on Merlio Ninja Hua, 17-5, 16-3. Hybrid fighting, Muay Thai Jiu-Jitsu, Wisconsin, Brazil, 27-26, 5'11", 205, 5'9", 205. Greg Jackson's mixed martial arts, Who's Valley Tudo, -180, +140. This is going to be a tough one to call. Should be a hell of a fight. I mean, Merlio has the advantage, I think, standing, but on the ground, I think it's going to be on Ron Faircloth. He is a problem on the ground. That rear naked choke is no fucking slouch. Yuji Shimada, our referee, our judges, both fighters weighted in the same, but Ron Faircloth clearly has a significant weight advantage now. Here we go, they touch gloves. Hua throws a quick strike and a fast leg kick, but Faircloth is equal to all of them, and it is actually too slow on the fast kick, and he allows Faircloth to catch it. Now looking for that takedown, he's got it. Hua pulls guard. Oh, but great awareness from Merlio as he's got a guillotine off the takedown as Faircloth escapes that guillotine. He looks to pass guard and get side control. He can't quite manage it, though, as now looking for the arm. Cannot secure it, does Merlio. As Faircloth throws a few strikes, clearly just slowing things down so he can catch his breath. As now looking for a leg lock. Hua maintains a tight, secure guard. Looking for the arm bar, and he's got it! Wow! He's got it, as he's got the arm bar from the bottom. A straight arm bar is applied. Faircloth that's the tap before the arm is hyper-extended. Your winner by submission from the bottom. Merlio Ninja Hua, what a fucking win there. So Ron Faircloth couldn't get anything going. That was a tough... I mean, Merlio had a great game plan. Off the takedown, goes for the guillotine, kept on going for an arm. Trying everything. You know, he had like 3 or 4 submission attempts, and the third one, that third one was the one. As, man, that was... hell of an effort there from Merlio Ninja Hua. As giving thanks, Merlio praises his team at Who's Valley Tudo. His various sponsors, all the fans who came out to support him. He's asked who he'd like to fight next. And he implies that he still hopes he still can get to compete against Frank Shamrock. Yeah, that could definitely happen. As now our main event of the evening. Gilbert, El Nino Melendez taking on the Prodigy. BJ Penn 14-0, 13-2. That one of those two losses are against against BJ Penn. Let's see, what was the other one? Carlo Prater. I want to say I'm pronouncing that right. He's beaten Charles Bennett. He's beaten Mac Denzig. Kenny Florian, Takanori Gomi, Tatsuya Kawajiri. It's kind of funny we had that happen. As, I completely forgot they had faced each other in IRL when I booked that. But that's fun. As, yeah, that's, I mean, quite the list he's had as BJ Penn. His list. You have, Ryan Tbow. He's also beaten Charles Bennett. Michael Sedgwick, Joaquim Hansen, as Cavalante, Katsuya Noe, Tyson Tbow, Wanda Moraga. He hasn't had a good fight since the Cavalante fight, so we'll see what happens here. This is a hell of a fight. There's no, those two, the last time they fought, they had a couple of fights before that. That fight could even take place on the same night. So now they're both fresh. They're both ready to go. Santa Ana, California. Hilo, Hawaii. Wrestling, boxing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, American Kickboxing Academy. The Pit, minus 340 for BJ Penn, plus 270. I think it's a lot closer than that. We'll see, though. Both 5'9", both 161. See if they weighed in the same. Refereeing for this bout, Big John McCarthy at ringside judges. They did. Alright, so the fight begins. Exchanges a few strikes, but nothing really significant lands. There's a 1-2 from Penn. Doesn't land either blow, though. Melendez moves in fast, clinches with Penn. Looking to muscle up against the ropes. He does so now. He's got him pinned against the ropes. Looking to grab both legs. Man, BJ Penn's in trouble. Gilbert Melendez has got the takedown. Tries to pound on BJ Penn, but none of the blows have any degree of power. Penn is trying to pull Melendez in close and prepping him with short strikes, but he can't. Throws a few right hands. He takes a moment to plan ahead. Blocks a attempted sweep. Throws a few strikes with their venom. As Penn tries to pull Melendez in close and prepping him with short strikes, but can't. Melendez keeps Penn guessing with a few quick strikes. Looks to pass guard and gets that control. It allows the pass was just a ploy to allow him to try and scramble as he manages to come out on top, holding Melendez down, turtled up, facing him. Looking for a soccer kick, but Melendez is able to spring back up and step back away as the exchange of strikes sees both fighters fail anything significant. Halfway point, a jab and a right cross from Penn, looking very tentative, pokes out a quick jab that hits Melendez. There's a flurry of 3 quick punches and landing one of them and then scores the right cross. He connects with a jab, misses the big right hand that follows up. As he fails to find home his jab and hits Melendez with the beauty of a straight right. There's a jab and there's a right head kick. BJ Penn steps in looking to unleash. Showing good hand speed, Penn lands 2 out of a flurry of 4 punches, then catches Melendez with a high right head kick. Kicking out with a jab and scores Melendez with a high right head kick. Steps in looking to unleash. Appeared to be going to try and get in close, but Penn took the initiative as he lands a left jab at the body kick. Following up as telegraphed, and Melendez is labeled to grab it. Looking for the takedown again. He's unable to complete it, though. He's instead pushing him up against the ropes. Now he's looking to go down low, grab a leg. Looking to take him down. He does so. It's not pretty, but Melendez drags him down the mat, and BJ Penn's in guard again. In guard, Melendez throws a couple of punches designed to keep him guessing. Trying to sweep from the bottom, but doesn't budge Melendez. Throws for a moment there. Melendez is content just to throw a couple of punches to the body. With a minute left now. Looking to get past the guard. Penn comfortably blocks the attempt and keeps Melendez in guard. And that is your end of your first round. Man, hell of a first round. I mean, Penn was doing his thing standing, but you see the strikes were landed. The takedowns happened. It's a close one to call. BJ Penn might get fucked out of a title. If he has a great second round, and he still loses by a split decision, that would suck, but I would get it. Because this has been a great first round for Gilbert Melendez. He has done his part. He's pushing the pace. Besides that kind of 2 minutes of BJ Penn really fucking him up standing, that was all Gilbert Melendez. So we'll see what happens here in this second round. As a good effort, though. I mean, that was a hell of a round. As a final round here, 3-punch combination sets up kicks to the legs from Penn, but Melendez avoids all of them. And he sees that chance and grabs him. Pinned him up against the ropes, looking to go down low. Ducks down, grabs a leg. Looking for a takedown, he sweeps him. Yeah, we're gonna have a new lightweight champion if this keeps up. As Melendez keeps Penn guessing with a few quick strikes, blocks the tentacle guard. There's a knee to just above the hip. Another knee to the hip. As Penn was waiting, though, and he uses that fact that Melendez momentarily off balance and tried to scramble for position as Penn ends up in side control. Wow. Penn now keeps him guessing with a few quick strikes. He blocks Melendez as he tries to transition the guard. Looking for the mount. Desperately trying to fight for the mount. He finds himself scrambling for position as Melendez is up first and quickly grabs Penn and he puts him up against the ropes. If he gets him down here, it's over. Yep. Doesn't even struggle. Swiftly taking him down with ease. And he's got the back too. Can he finish him off? He's looking for the rear naked choke. He fights off the rear naked choke and that's the end of the fight. I think your winner, unanimous decision in your new lightweight Pride champion, Pride FC lightweight champion of the world, Gilbert El Nino Melendez at 14-2 now. Yeah, we got a new champion. Hell of a fight though. That was awesome. It's 14-1 as BJ Penn. We might do the trilogy. We might do that next year for 2007. That might be something we can do against Van. That was awesome. You know, that was some good stuff there. And we desperately needed that, too. We needed the main event to be good. As Gilbert Melendez gives a name check to everyone at American Kickboxing Academy, all of his various sponsors, and all of his friends, family, and supporters. He celebrates his Pride lightweight title win and calls it one of the greatest moments of his career. Yeah. Wow, critical rating was a 68, thanks to the great co-main and good. I mean, that co-main and main really saved that card. Because that could have been real bad. Could have been real bad. Wow, only 9,000 people in Kanto for this. Wow, we didn't have a packed house for this one. Not good, not good. But hey, you know, we got what we wanted. The commercial ring was an 88. Wish that was a little bit better, but I'll take it. Yeah, we decreased our pop in Japan and the UK, and it looks like in Australia too. I mean, still, though, we have a new lightweight champion, so that's fun. So I think it wasn't a terrible show. And plus, we made $4 million. Is now, you know, after our new lightweight champion. Gilbert Melendez is probably going to take on Sato or Takanori Gomi. I'm really not sure yet where I want to go with that. I think it's going to come down to what's the better fight, kind of at the end of the day, you know, as far as that goes. But yeah, I mean, Gilbert Melendez, that's a huge win. Being the first guy to beat BJ Penn, too. That's awesome. Fuck yeah. Gilbert Melendez, a savage. Yeah, we'll re-sign all those people and get all that going on our mail as we've got a short time, only basically a week until American Bushido 12, which is happening in Nevada. It's going to be Matt Hughes taking on Dennis Hallman, the trilogy fight. Both have won. You know, they both have one win each, as American Bushido 7 saw Matt Hughes winning by a split decision. We'll see what happens. For the welterweight championship, Pride FC, I mean, that's going to be a hell of a fight. That is Rich Franklin, Jeremy Horn. That's a sneaky good fight. Tim Silva and Rafael Carino. That's two 6'8" heavyweights going to throw the fucking leather. That's going to be awesome. Kevin Randleman and Frank Mir. That's fun. You know, Drew Fickett and Jason Von Flue. I believe that's Drew Fickett's debut. Yeah, it is Drew Fickett's debut. So that's going to be cool too. And then on to Final Conflict Absolute, which you see there. Heavyweight Grand Prix Finals. It's kind of funny that it's a finals final, but kind of is what it is. It's no big deal there. So we got our, you know, Mirko Krokop, Alexei Olenek, Valentino Overeem, Josh Barnett, Sergey Karitnov, Rico Rodriguez, Alistair Overeem, and Kazuchika Fujita. And those winners are going to battle it out. Then we're going to have Mario Sparrow and Quentin Rampage Jackson as a bit of a filler between the semifinals and the final fight. Which, man, that's going to be crazy. I mean, you can have a Mirko Krokop, Alistair Overeem. You know, you could have so many different variables of a heavyweight fight that can happen. It's going to be a lot of fun. Then the Shockwave card, which I still don't know what's going to be, if it's going to be the main or co-main, but just in case, I'm assuming he will not be ready. Whoever wins this heavyweight Grand Prix will not be ready for the Shockwave card. So we're going to have Big Nog take on the returning Simi Chalette, the main event. So that's just kind of what our next 3 cards are going to look like to end out the 2006 year. We only got 3 cards left, and then it's on to 2007. As we'll catch you guys next time for Mega Bushido 12.